Now on 4 News Now at 6, families in mourning, a community shaken, and many unanswered questions in the killings of the 4 U of I students.
We have even more cold, dry weather in the forecast, but there are some changes on the way that could impact your holiday travel plans in the first alert forecast.
A man is dead, his home set on fire. What we know about the police standoff in Spokane Valley that closed an elementary school. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
There's still someone out there who did this crime and no one really knows who. And so that's why we're all a little concerned that they say there's no threat to the community, because they are still out there.
Fear continues to spread across the University of Idaho, with students returning to class for the first time since their classmates Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, and Kaylee Goncaves were stabbed to death in their home just a block from campus. Many questions still surround the case, and investigators have released very little information.
We do know that an edged weapon like a knife was used in the murders, and none of the victims are considered suspects. We have team coverage again tonight and begin with Esther Bauer live in Moscow with more on the investigation.
Well, we now know that the FBI from Salt Lake City is coming in to help local police with this investigation. Police say they still do not have a suspect in custody. The Latah County coroner tells us what she saw in this home behind me was one of the most traumatic scenes she's seen in 16 years. This crime scene on Queen Road hasn't changed days later, with an officer parked in the driveway at all hours of the day. A big change did happen on Tuesday night right next to the home. This dumpster is now empty. Waste crews cleared it out and police stopped the trash truck for a while. Law enforcement still isn't saying why this happened and if this will jeopardize their search for a knife-like weapon. The county coroner is hoping the autopsies will provide more answers.
There's quite a bit of blood in the apartment, and it's a pretty traumatic scene to find 4 dead college students in a residence.
Kathy Mabbitt says what killed these students was their physical injuries from a sharp object. She says a toxicology report will be done, but there is no evidence as of now any kind of substance was used to kill these 4 young adults. Now, I just got off the phone with the Latah County prosecutor. He tells me, quote, this is a dynamic investigation. He also shared some context with us, saying the last time there was a multiple homicide here in Moscow, they had a suspect within a few hours. We're now going on 3 days with still no suspect in custody, and even more questions growing here at the scene. Reporting live in Moscow tonight, Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.
Esther, thank you. We turn our attention now to the scene on campus. Classes were scheduled to resume today, but campus remained otherwise empty.
KXLY's Jordan Smith joins us now from Moscow in our continued team coverage.
Well, it was just another quiet and an anxious day here in Moscow. The community's still waiting on answers from law enforcement. Classes did resume today, but the campus as a whole remains really still and quiet. Not a lot of activity. Most people not going to class from what we could tell. And this heartbreak continues here in the Palouse. Many people lining the university entrance with flowers and stuffed animals, trying to process this nightmarish situation on King Street. The Sigma Chi fraternity lowering their flag to half-staff, honoring their brother Ethan, who was just a freshman here at U of I when he was killed over the weekend. The older sister of Xana Kernodle, another student killed this weekend, wrote in a statement in honor of her little sister. She says, Xana was one of the best people I have ever known. She made me so proud as a big sister, and I wish I could have had more time with her. She had so much life left to live. The university doing what they can, announcing today the upcoming volleyball and basketball games will be free of charge, and this is an effort to get the Vandal community to stand together here in the wake of this tragedy. Each game will begin with a moment of silence, remembering the lives that were taken. And as we've reported to you here tonight, still limited answers in Moscow. Police have not reached out to us on any leads or motives that they've been working on. But the second that changes, we will update you, as I said, the moment we get that information. Reporting from Moscow, I'm Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Jordan, thank you. Well, it's been several cold days, and we have cold mornings to look forward to as well. Let's send it over to Chris Crocker to see what's in store for us.
Well, we're into the second week of this cold weather. Temperatures right now only in the 20s in Spokane. It is 24 degrees right now in Coeur d'Alene, 29 in Pullman, and 25 degrees in Colville. Right around the Spokane area, there's a few 30s on the map, including at Liberty Lake and Spokane Valley. 23 in Deer Park, and 26 right now in Spangle. Here's a look now at our lows tonight. We will be down in the teens in most locations, 11 in Deer Park. With the low clouds and fog developing, had a few flurries coming out of the fog on an isolated basis today. Snog, if you will. That is always a possibility anytime you get that thick stratus, that you may see a little bit of flurries condensing out of it. Now there's a better chance of some snow coming in the forecast. I will be back to tell you about that. But first, your Wednesday planner. We're heading up to a high of just 33, almost 10 degrees below average.
Chris, thank you. It was a long night for some people in the Spokane Valley. Police say a man barricaded himself inside a home, shot at other homes, and later a fire broke out on the second floor of his house.
This incident started late last night, with deputies saying they worked through the night to bring about a peaceful resolution.
Bronte Saransky was at the scene and has an update on that situation.
Well, it is a much calmer scene here than it was just a few hours ago. Police say a man holed up in his home, fired shots into this neighborhood. Well, now that man is dead.
We weren't ever really able to establish a rapport with him in order to de-escalate this. As the time progressed, around 10:54 this morning, there was a fire reported in the residence, and about 11:06, the subject exited the residence, was confronted by the SWAT team. Shots were fired, and the subject is deceased.
But things started much earlier. Police were first called about this man firing shots around 11 Monday night. Neighbors say they were told to either hide or stay somewhere else.
When the sheriff came and told us we should evacuate, we left.
And school at Green Acres Elementary was canceled for the day.
As a parent, it's pretty, scary. Trying to keep the kids calm and not tell them what's going on.
The sheriff's office says deputies believed the man may have been dealing with a mental health crisis. And despite the use of drones, tear gas, and crisis negotiators, officials couldn't de-escalate the situation.
They made numerous attempts to make contact with the subject. However, none of them bore any fruit.
Officials still don't know how many homes were shot or the cause of the fire. No one else was injured in this standoff. The sheriff's office is still investigating this incident. Reporting in Spokane Valley, Bronte Saransky, 4 News Now.
Russia is once again targeting key energy sources in Ukraine as the Ukrainian president laid out his plan for peace.
What he says needs to be done for this war to come to an end coming up. Plus, a new detox center now open in North Idaho, how it will help combat addiction, and how centers like these help one woman get her life back on track.
It's starting to feel like winter, and this has many of us turning up the heater, but many families struggle to pay their heating bill. Ahead, how you can apply for help.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
You'll love saving your green at Jennifer's.
Is one casino really any better than the next? Well, at Northern Quest, we've got the largest gaming floor in the region, not to mention the most slot titles, the most payouts, the largest selection of table games, the lowest minimum bets, the highest maximum bets, and a state-of-the-art sports book. So you tell us. Northern Quest, yes, the best. Play daily to upgrade your sleigh with a new Porsche Cayenne on December 22nd.
The Big 99.9 Coyote Country's Christmas Cash Giveaway. Just listen at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2, and 4 p.m. We'll give away $500 Christmas cash every Friday afternoon. The Big 99.9 Coyote Country.
Come in and discover the best holiday shop in town, Madison Home Market. Madison Home Market, an expansion of Madison Home, is the perfect place to find holiday gifts and bring home festive decor to warm your home. Beautifully redesigned Madison Home Market is filled with holiday cheer. From unique furniture to one-of-a-kind ornaments, you're sure to find something special to enjoy this season and many more to come. Celebrate the holidays with Madison Home Market on the corner of Medilia and North Foothills Drive.
Get exactly what you want. Wendell Ford is ready to help you find that vehicle you've been wanting to buy. Built for you. F-150, Bronco, Bronco Sport, Explorer, Mach-E, and Maverick. Here's how it works. Make a list of options you want. Wendell will work with you on financing to fit your budget. And then we will order the vehicle of your dreams or select from current inventory. Get exactly what you want. Built for you. Wendell Ford at the Y. Drive for generations.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team at Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on the next task. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXOY.com to nominate it. For News Now Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
The Christmas holiday season is upon us, and the Plant Farm is ready to put your home decorations on display. The Plant Farm Poinsettia is ready to bring home, making your lights twinkle brighter and decorations dazzle. The Plant Farm Poinsettia is the coziness that brings families together and the symbol of hope and giving for the holidays. The annual Plant Farm Poinsettia tours are November 11, 12, 18, and 19. Book your spot at plant-farm.com today.
Breaking news tonight. Right now, former President Donald Trump is holding a rally in Mar-a-Lago where he is expected to announce he will run for president in 2024. Let's take a listen.
Thank you very much. Under our leadership, we were a great and glorious nation, something you haven't heard for quite a long period of time. We were a strong nation, and importantly, we were a free nation. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. For millions of Americans, the past 2 years under Joe Biden have been a time of pain, hardship, anxiety, and despair. As we speak, inflation is the highest in over 50 years. Gas prices have reached the highest levels in history and expect them to go much higher now that the Strategic National Reserves, which I filled up.
And again, you've been listening to former President Donald Trump. We are expecting him to announce his run for presidency in 2024. We will continue to update this. He just started his speech here, so we will give you updates throughout this newscast and on KXLY.com. Ahead of Mr. Trump announcing he's running for office, former Vice President Mike Pence sat down for an exclusive interview with ABC News, denouncing former President Donald Trump for his words and actions during the January 6th insurrection. Secret Service agents rushed Pence and his family to safety when a violent pro-Trump mob stormed the Capitol and chanted "Hang Mike Pence" for not contesting the results of the 2020 election. He had this to say when asked about his own comments spreading doubts about the results.
Do you have any regrets about your own rhetoric? Just 2 days before January 6th, you were in Georgia, and you said, "We all have our doubts about the election." Were you feeding the false hope?
No, not in the least. Well, David, hindsight is always 20/20. But I never imagined the violence that would ensue on January the 6th.
And he was also asked whether he thinks Mr. Trump should run again in 2024.
But I think that's up to the American people. But I think we'll have better choices in the future.
Mr. Pence says he decided it would be best the two went their separate ways.
Millions of people suffer from anxiety. It's the most common mental health concern facing Americans. While medication and therapy can help, those options might not be right for everyone. Now, research suggests there may be another option. Researchers studied more than 275 adults with untreated anxiety disorders. Half the patients received a generic form of Lexapro. The other half were assigned an 8-week course in mindfulness stress reduction,
and found that they were roughly equivalent in effect, reducing anxiety symptoms by about 30%.
Director of the research says that meditation could potentially be prescribed instead of medication for some patients, but it does take time to make it effective. If someone is suffering from anxiety, they should talk to a primary care provider about their options.
RSV has hit children hard across the country this fall, and now there's evidence older adults are catching the respiratory virus at a higher rate than normal. The CDC says about 6 of every 100,000 seniors have been hospitalized with RSV. That's a much lower rate than in children, but for seniors, it is about 10 times higher than in years before the COVID-19 pandemic. Adults at risk for the most severe outcomes are 65 and older. Healthy sleep could be important in preventing diabetes.
According to a new study, if you sleep in a bedroom exposed to artificial light from the outside or, outside at night, like a street lamp, you may have an increased risk of developing diabetes. The light pollution study involved nearly 100,000 adults in China. It found people who lived in areas of China with high light pollution at night were about 28% more likely to develop diabetes than people who lived in the least polluted areas. The authors said ultimately more than 9 million cases of diabetes in adults in China, maybe because of outdoor light pollution at night. Some ways to reduce light in your room include positioning your bed away from windows and using light-blocking window shades or curtains. And you can also try wearing a sleep mask.
Temperatures today only topping out around freezing, about 10 degrees below average. And it's going to get even colder before we warm up next week. I'll let you know what to expect after the break.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Salvation Army of Spokane Red Kettle Christmas Campaign.
Happy Take and Bake Tuesday! Every Tuesday at Papa Murphy's, you can get any large pizza for just $12, which makes Tuesday the best day to bring home all your favorites.
We might have too many favorites.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
This week, America's favorite morning show is going.
It's served to the most delicious pies in America.
With Thanksgiving almost here, where can you get the best pie in America?
It's Good Morning America's United States of Pie.
Ooh, this is going to be so sweet. You share it?
The people ask us to bring peace to the city of Spokane. House Mainstream accepts.
I know you. There's something awakening in my mind.
You must face your fears.
Come with me.
You need to be ready.
This winter, meet the heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Season of Performance.
This winter, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
How's everything going today?
Hey, Robert. We're good. Just checking in on that car loan we applied for.
No worries. Let me pull that up. Yep. Looks like you're approved and all set.
Hey, that's great news.
So, you headed over to the dealership now?
Yep. Just gotta make one stop first.
And we got a great rate, too.
Papa Murphy's presents How to Change the Way You Pizza. Step 1, grab a delicious Papa Murphy's pizza. Step 2, bake. Step 3, chow down on the deliciousness. Order the limited time Hog Heaven pizza for just $12.99 at papamurphys.com.
We are still talking about the cold here in the 4 News Now First Alert Weather Center, but there are some changes coming. A few minor ones in the short term, some larger ones next week. Tonight, 19 degrees for an overnight low with mostly cloudy skies and patchy fog. Tomorrow, a little bit of sunshine in the afternoon with a high temperature of 33. That's about 10 degrees below average. A ridge of high pressure still in place over the region, and we are on the very eastern edge of that ridge. As systems drop down out of Canada, they are primarily missing us to the east, but we have a system that's going to be coming in tomorrow night that gives us a chance of some very light snow. little bit in the mountains and possibly a few flurries down in town. Here's 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. That system will just clip us in the overnight hours. And then as we get into Thursday, we are left with a northeasterly flow. That's a cold wind. But anytime you have that air coming from the north, that is going to make our temperatures in the mid-30s feel even colder. And they're really going to be feeling that as we get into Thursday night with a bitterly cold wind chill. Here's a closer look on that light snow I was telling you about, starting off 6 o'clock tomorrow evening with some light snow in extreme north Idaho. This system is not going to hold together long as it makes its way to the south and west. Here's 11 o'clock tomorrow evening with just the very lightest of snow, and then it dissipates almost completely, and we will be dry as we get into Thursday morning. Overnight lows tonight. We will be down in the teens again around the region, 17 in Moses Lake and Ritzville, as well as St. Mary's, 19 in Spokane, 21 degrees in Coeur d'Alene. We'll be at 11 in Colville and 13 in Winthrop tomorrow morning. High temperatures only in the 20s in Winthrop. We'll be in the 30s around much of the rest of the region. 42 in Lewiston, the warm spot on the map. Here's a look at your planning forecast. Now tomorrow we'll have a high of 33. Thursday 34, but with that breeze out of the northeast, it's going to feel even cooler. Mainly mountain snow, and it's not going to amount to much even in the mountains. Friday, then that really cold air from the northeast settles in with overnight lows down in the low double digits and highs only in the 20s, the coldest weather of the season so far. And then we start warming up in the forecast and bring back the chance of some snow for Monday and Tuesday, a big travel day, light snow in the valleys, but we could see some heavier snow in the mountains coming up in the next half hour in the forecast focus. I'm going to go over the timing on some of the Thanksgiving travel weather in more detail. That's coming up in the next half hour, Aaron.
Chris, thank you. The cost to keep your family warm is expected to be higher this winter.
If you're struggling to pay your energy bill, there's help out there for you. New at 6, our Vanessa Perez is live in studio with what you can do so you can keep the heat on throughout the season.
That's right. You can set up an appointment for SNAP's Energy Assistance Program. Appointments filled up quickly this morning, but you will have another chance to receive some relief. Turning up the heat is expected to cost your family more this winter.
Just a big influx of people. It's getting cold. They need money to help heat their homes. We have lots of people who live on limited incomes, and so it becomes pretty urgent to get that need filled.
In just a few hours, all appointments were filled, showing the significance of this resource in our community.
If you didn't get one today, you can work towards the next set of appointments that open.
You'll have to wait until December 20th to sign up. Carol suggests you hop on the website early. The application opens at 8 a.m. You'll receive a call from SNAP on the day and time you pick.
You can do it over the phone. Most of our appointments are over the phone. You don't even have to come into the office, which is even more wonderful, right? And then you can either upload documents to us or you can send them back through the mail.
That's when SNAP will ask for your documents such as ID, Social Security, and proof of income and address. You have to be 150% of the poverty level or less to be eligible. To put it in perspective, say you have 4 in your household, you qualify if you make up to $3,469 a month. It's slightly different for Vista customers. Your household of 4 qualifies if you bring home around $5,600 a month.
We have lots of new people, and then people who are coming back who have needed help in the past because our energy burden is higher this year.
Nearly 18,000 households receive this assistance each year. Walt says SNAP is seeing people carrying over big balances from the pandemic. SNAP has extra dollars available for those who need to pay down balances. The organization also has programs to assist you with your water and sewer bill. Live in studio, Vanessa Perez, 4 News Now.
Vanessa, thank you. Millions of Americans suffer from addiction in the U.S., but only 10% get treatment. How one hospital in Coeur d'Alene wants to fix that problem, coming up.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Home. It's both a place and a feeling. At yours, you strive to make new memories. Create traditions. Share stories. Find the fun. Embrace the surprises. And celebrate moments big and small. Memories are made at home. In every room. In every moment. Make your house feel like home at the Tin Roof.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
It's time to replace your old tub with a new shower. But you don't want the hassle or the worry of getting it finished. You just want to pick a style and relax, knowing that it'll be wonderful when it's done. Is that too much to ask? No, actually it's not. Rebath, from start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,250 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Is one casino really any better than the next? Well, at Northern Quest, we've got the largest gaming floor in the region, not to mention the most slot titles, the most payouts, the largest selection of table games, the lowest minimum bets, the highest maximum bets, and a state-of-the-art sports book. So you tell us. Northern Quest, yes, the best. Play daily to upgrade your sleigh with a new Porsche Cayenne on December 22nd.
With dentures from Aspen Dental, all they'll see is your confident smile. How do we do it? We provide exceptional care all in one place, and our denture experts craft natural-looking dentures right in our in-office labs, because we'll do anything to make sure your smile looks like your smile. Right now, get replacement dentures starting at just $2.99 per arch. We can even get started today. Aspen Dental, anything to make you smile. Schedule your complimentary denture consultation now.
4 News Now is brought to you by Dishman Dodge.
We have breaking news tonight. During an emergency meeting with NATO leaders, President Biden announced that the recent missile that fell into Poland, killing 2 people, could not have come from Russia, despite previous reports from Poland saying otherwise.
This news comes a few hours after the Ukrainian president laid out his proposal for peace. CNN's Chris Wynn has more.
As air raid sirens ring across Ukraine, there are reports that 2 missiles or rockets struck Poland near the Ukrainian border, killing at least 2 people. It's unclear from where the projectiles originated, but they landed at roughly the same time as a Russian missile strike on western Ukraine. The incident occurring after Ukrainians were warned to expect more attacks from Russia.
Mostly on energy infrastructure. We can see what the enemy wants. They will not succeed.
Russian missiles struck about a dozen Ukrainian cities and districts on Tuesday, marking the largest wave of attacks on the country this month following several devastating rounds in October. Senior Ukrainian officials say at least half of the customers in Kyiv have no electricity after Russian strikes forced emergency outages. The attacks come after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky presented a 10-point peace plan to end Russia's invasion in a video speech to G20 leaders.
We will not allow Russia to wait it out, build up its forces, and then start a new series of terror and global destabilization.
The steps include a path to nuclear safety, food security, and a special tribunal for alleged Russian war crimes.
I am convinced now is the time when the Russian destructive war must and can be stopped.
A Kremlin spokesperson says Russia has seen Zelensky's proposal, but doesn't believe the Ukrainian government wants to negotiate in good faith. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
We have much more coming up tonight at 6:30.
Including the latest on the investigation on the murders of the 4 U of I students. Plus,
a local medical center is opening its first medical detox center in Coeur d'Alene. Coming up, I'll share how this service helps patients take their first step toward recovery, and also share the one woman's detox journey.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Every time you use your ICCU Premier Rewards Visa card, you're earning rewards. cash back or points, being a member of Idaho Central really pays back. Start earning points and getting cash back for your everyday purchases. It's a win-win. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe life should be rewarding.
Let the countdown begin. Santa Claus is back for River Park Square's holiday kickoff Friday, November 18th at 6 p.m. Presented by STCU. The family fun continues Saturday afternoon at the Merry and Magical Holiday Parade with a special appearance by jolly old St. Nick. Reserve a time for photos and discover all you need to plan an unforgettable season at riverparksquare.com.
Everything seems to be getting more and more expensive these days. And it's the same for your heating bills. Since it will cost more to heat your home this winter, USA Insulation wants to give you control over your utility bills. Our premium injection foam keeps the cold outside and your warm, comfortable air inside, right where it belongs. Call now for a $500 early bird discount, plus low monthly payment plans.
USA Insulation.
It's a November to remember at Dishman. Get great buys on Ram trucks and Jeeps, or special markdowns on pre-owned SUVs and four-wheel drives. But our best offer is a free big screen TV with every purchase. This week at Dishman.
The doctor will see you now. But do they really? Do they see that crick in your neck? That ache in your heart? Will they see that funny little thing that wasn't there last year? The new bounce in your step? The way your retinal scan connects to your blood sugar? At Kaiser Permanente, all of us work together to care for all that is you.
We never gonna stop until we make it to the top. We never gonna stop. We never gonna stop.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Students at the University of Idaho returned to class today, many afraid a killer could be hiding somewhere in Moscow.
Parents are picking up their kids and taking them home. Investigators are still providing very few details.
They're working to piece together the timelines of events between when these photos were taken and when the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Kaylee Goncaves were found on Sunday.
Here's what we do know so far. Police believe the incident occurred around 3 a.m. Sunday. They believe an edged weapon like a knife was used to kill the students, and 9 hours later at noon, they received a call about an unconscious person on Kings Road. When officers arrived, they found the crime scene.
Well, despite not having a murder weapon or any suspects, Moscow police say it was not a random attack and there's no threat to the public. There's plenty the Moscow Police Department won't tell us, including who made the 911 call or if detectives have a suspect. Right now, we have multiple crews in Moscow trying to get answers for you. Be sure to download the 4 News Now app and turn on push notifications. We will send you breaking news updates on this tragedy straight to your phone.
And the University of Virginia is also mourning the loss of 3 students who were shot and killed Sunday night. All were members of the football team. Their coach saying the players and staff are working together to process and find a way to move forward.
The first meeting was really tough. You know, really tough. Today was much better. You know, we were able to transition from the pain to finding a little bit of joy in celebrating the lives of Lavelle, Deshaun, and Devin.
There's still no word on a possible motive. The shooter is expected to appear in court tomorrow.
We want to go back to breaking news from Mar-a-Lago. Former President Donald Trump has officially announced he is running for president in 2024. We will have more from his announcement tonight on Nightside at 11 o'clock. According to the U.S. Surgeon General's report, nearly 21 million Americans have at least one addiction and only 10% receive treatment. A local hospital in Coeur d'Alene wants to fix the problem by opening a new medical detox unit. Peter Choi explains how medical services give new opportunities to people who are waiting for their new beginnings and shares a woman's detox journey.
Detoxing from alcohol or drugs like fentanyl is a crucial first step in addiction recovery. And local hospital in Coeur d'Alene is now opening its first medical detox center to help patients recover safely.
Horrible, painful, lonely, hopeless.
4 words can describe enough about Angel Tomio Siem's life chapter, battling drug addiction.
In recovery, I'm in recovery from heroin use and methamphetamine use.
With the assistance from a local detox program, she has been sober for 6 years. She says, however, getting access to the detox center was a challenge, and people need medical help during the detoxing process.
It really pays attention, really, really is a way for a good prescriber who knows like the right doses of the medicines that are needed to help people withdrawal and maybe even replace the drug, like with an opiate inhibitor.
The director of a medical detox center at Kootenai Health says recent weeks have been
Yep, somebody's on the way in right now, okay?
overwhelming.
We have served over 50 patients, and the lengths of stay have been 2 to 4 days.
The center wants to provide medical support to addicts who weren't able to access the help in the past.
The medical detox piece is we evaluate the individual when they come in, and we look at any potential medical risk factors that they would have, and then the course of treatment is set by looking at specifically a lot of assessments in a 24-hour period to regulate the medications.
The director says the majority of the treatment is covered by insurance, and anyone who's looking for help is asked to contact Kootenai Health directly.
Proof positive that we do recover.
In Coeur d'Alene, Peter Choi.
And that there is help out there, and not to be afraid.
For News Now.
As the opioid crisis continues to worsen, the FDA is looking into making certain Narcan products more readily available. Agencies are announcing that they support selling products like Narcan over the counter. The FDA says they're taking steps to approve an auto nasal spray and an auto injector version that's safe enough to be sold without a prescription.
More than 1 billion young people may be at risk of suffering from early hearing loss. That's according to a new study published today in the journal BMJ Global Health. Researchers say they analyzed scientific articles about unsafe listening practices published between 2000 and 2021. The articles looked at the impact of loud sound going straight into people's ears when they use headphones or at entertainment venues like concerts, bars, clubs. The study estimated up to 1.35 billion people worldwide likely engage in unsafe listening practices, and that's just from those 12 to 34 years old. Researchers say being exposed to loud sound can weaken your ear structure and can eventually cause permanent damage.
It was a quiet night in Spokane tonight. Live look over the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. It is cold, and it is going to get even colder before we see some changes in our weather pattern. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. It's going to be cold tonight, down in the teens in most locations. Dry on Wednesday, but we do have the chance of some mountain snow late, possibly even some flurries in the valleys. And then the big changes come next week with some warmer and wetter weather on the way. Here's a look at our lows tonight. 11 in Deer Park. We'll be in the teens from Fairchild Air Force Base all the way through Hayden. 14 in Spirit Lake and 18 in Spangle and Cheney. On a broader view, we find temperatures in the teens just about everywhere. Only a few spots staying in the 20s overnight. In your Wednesday planner, a day very much like today. We're heading up to a high of 33. 42 is our average high. We're not going to be quite back up to average in the 7-day forecast, but there's hope as we get closer to Thanksgiving. I'll tell you all about that in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
Chris, thank you. Amazon's getting into the healthcare business. The company launched a virtual clinic to treat common health conditions. The company says the service, Amazon Clinic, will focus on affordable care for those who need treatment for conditions like allergies, acne, and hair loss. Patients will speak to doctors through a message-based portal where the doctor will send a treatment plan. No word on how much the service will cost, and Amazon does not accept insurance.
For months, airlines have had to cancel tens of thousands of flights because of staffing shortages.
And now they're being forced to refund hundreds of millions of dollars to customers. Find out if you qualify coming up. And Washington State basketball was back in action tonight, but the game didn't go how the Cougars planned. That and more coming up in sports.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Cal Superstore in Airway Heights.
Are you looking for a credit card with rewards? Well, we've made it simple. Get 1.5% unlimited cash back on purchases. So go on, reward yourself with a Premier Rewards MasterCard from P1FCU.
Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated #1 HVAC contractor in the Northwest. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning would like to introduce our own carbon reduction program. Buy a new energy-efficient furnace from Bill's Heating and receive a matching air conditioner with installation absolutely free. No hidden fees, no conditions, no exceptions. Buy a furnace, get a free AC from Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call today for estimates and repairs.
There's never been a better time to get back to the gym, and Move Fitness wants to help. You can join now for around $1 a day to create a new routine for you.
It's Christmas in November with big markdowns on all four-wheel drives. Plus, we're giving away a new set of WeatherTech floor mats with every purchase.
This week at Cal.
I'm Jonah, and I'd like to welcome you to the brand new Coeur d'Alene Nissan. You'll find the grand dealership lobby open, comfortable, and relaxing. A service center with state-of-the-art equipment committed to getting you quickly and safely back on the road. There's much more to experience. I'm inviting you to stop in and see us. We're just off Highway 95 in Coeur d'Alene.
Are you looking for a credit card with rewards? Well, we've made it simple. Take advantage of 0% APR on new purchases for 6 months. So go on, reward yourself with a Premier Rewards MasterCard from P1FCU.
The miraculous new way of finding lost people.
Heavy Sun Career.
Next, Inside Edition, how uttering 3 words will track down anyone, anywhere.
I'm en route.
What are the 3 words? And how they divided the world into 57 trillion boxes. Then, what this teacher did in her classroom that has all these parents so upset.
Mortified.
Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
Kettlebell ringers just like these have already started popping up across the inland Northwest to raise money for the Salvation Army with the help of local businesses. This is the 5th annual Corporate Kettle Kickoff, where local business leaders and staff will ring bells at the kettles to help raise funds for local vulnerable children and families. For a list of the businesses participating and a link to donate online, look for this story right now on KXLY.com.
It was our 10th day in a row with below average temperatures. We only got up to 34 today, and most of those days we've been in the 10 to 15 degree below average range. But we're at 34 today. 42 is our average high, but look where we started at 16. That's the coldest it's been this season. Sunset today was at 4:13. We're going to keep with the below average trend through the 7-day forecast. This white line right here is average. By this time next week, our average high is 39. We're going to stay in the 30s, but start to see a little bit of a warming trend. And if anything, this temperature might be a little low. Here's a look at our temperature trend from the November 23rd through November 29th. The 24th is Thanksgiving, and still sticking with a signal of above average temperatures, which should take us into the 40s, and above average precipitation for that time period as well. The computer model looking out for Thanksgiving week is backed off quite a bit on the atmospheric river that it was picking up on yesterday. Here's a look at a week from Monday. the Monday before Thanksgiving at 6 p.m. We have more of a westerly flow as opposed to the ridge of high pressure that we've had, and that's going to allow a system to come through and bring some light snow Monday and into Tuesday with some heavier snow over the passes, but it's still not a huge amount of precipitation. And then this is new today, advertising a ridge of high pressure building in for Wednesday, a big travel day, and if that holds, we should be in pretty good shape for Wednesday travel. Then we start to see more of that southwesterly flow. However, it stays just off the coast with that atmospheric river going up and into Canada rather than Washington. As we get into the weekend, more busy travel weather, then things become a little more active. But again, that is still a week plus out. I just want to make sure that you are well prepared as you start making some of your early travel plans. Keep in mind you may have to have some flexibility as we are going to break out of this pattern of this ridge of high pressure and have a more active weather scene. Be good to travel over the next few days, except we do have a slight chance of some snow flurries Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Most of that snow will be over the mountains. Thursday, a high of 34, but it's going to be breezy with a cold northeast wind, so it'll feel even cooler. Then we drop into the coldest weather of the season so far. Highs in the 20s, lows in the lower teens and low double digits. And then as we get into next week, we start bringing in that chance of snow on Monday and Tuesday. Aaron?
Thank you, Chris. If you're traveling next week, be prepared for large crowds. More than 54 million people are expected to travel this holiday season. That's according to AAA. That's up slightly from 2021 and nearly as high as pre-pandemic volumes. Despite inflation and current economic woes, demand for travel does not seem to be waning. Since the start of the pandemic, airlines have struggled to keep up, forcing them to delay or cancel hundreds of thousands of flights.
And if you are one of the millions affected, you could have some cash headed your way. ABC's Alexis Christoforous explains why these airlines are now required to issue refunds.
The Department of Transportation ordering 6 airlines to pay a total of more than $600 million in refunds to customers who had their travel plans canceled or significantly delayed during the pandemic. Money only being given to those passengers still waiting for refunds that have been delayed. Frontier Airlines leads the list of carriers targeted by the DOT. The ultra-low-cost carrier ordered to pay $222 million in refunds and an additional $2.2 million fine. The other airlines implicated are TAP Portugal, Air India, Aeromexico, Israel's El Al, and Colombia's Avianca. In a statement, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg saying in part, a flight cancellation is frustrating enough, and you shouldn't also have to haggle or wait months to get your refund. It has been a challenging year for airlines. According to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, domestic carriers have posted the lowest number of on-time flights and the highest number of delays in 8 years. Cancellations are running at the highest rate in a decade.
I spent $656 on a ticket, and now I'm still trying to find a way to get home.
The DOT saying no fines will be imposed for major U.S. airlines because they ultimately responded more quickly to refund requests. Complaints about airline refunds accounted for about 60% of all complaints logged with the DOT last year. Federal officials have since called on airlines to beef up hiring to ease delays and cancellations. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
A small plane carrying dozens of dogs headed to a shelter crash landed in Wisconsin. Officials say the plane belly landed on the back green of a golf course in Pewaukee Tuesday. The aircraft took out some trees and slid for several hundred feet. Authorities say 3 people on the plane suffered non-life-threatening injuries. They are receiving treatment at a hospital. There were more than 50 dogs on board that have been taken in by the local Humane Society. Officials say some of the animals were hurt. They are hoping the dogs will be available for adoption soon.
Well, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight. It's Bachelor in Paradise at 8, followed by Rookie Feds at 10.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Hi, I'm John Butler with Century 21. Welcome to beautiful Gem Shores Estate here in Hayden Lake, the most premier waterfront property for sale in North Idaho. This 8,600 square foot masterpiece is designed with the most unique furnishings from all over the world. Every piece has a history and a story to tell. When this home sells, the furniture must go. Consign Furniture in Liberty Lake is the only company we refer our clients to. Our clients deserve the best, and Consign Furniture delivers every time.
The people ask us to bring peace to the city of Spokane. House Mainstream accepts.
I know you. There's something awakening in my mind.
You must face your fears.
Come with me. You need to be ready.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
Add some thrill to this holiday season by tapping into some impressive horsepower and the refined performance of standard iActive all-wheel drive, all in a beautifully wrapped package. The rewarding Mazda CX-30. Find yours during the season of inspiration.
Embrace every unexpected turn in the all-wheel drive Mazda CX-30. Come take a test drive and reserve yours today at Foothills Mazda or shop now at SpokaneMazda.com.
Every time you use your ICCU Premier Rewards Visa card, you're earning rewards. Whether it's cash back or points, being a member of Idaho Central really pays back. Start earning points and getting cash back for your everyday purchases. It's a win-win. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe life should be rewarding.
4 News Now is brought to you by Gamma Knife.
The Cougars are making history. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minensone. Washington State basketball is taking part in the first ever Pac-12 SWAC Legacy Series. This is a first of its kind basketball and educational partnership between a Power 5 and HBCU league. The goal is to educate the student athletes around the issues of anti-racism and social justice, and of course, have some great competition on the court. Washington State spent the day learning about the history of its opponent, Prairie View A&M and HBCUs. As for the actual game, Washington State struggled from the opening tip-off. Prairie View A&M began the game on an 8-0 run. But Cougar big man Muhammad Gay wasn't going down without a fight. The big fella used all 6'11" of himself to get the block, and that leads to offense on the other end. Spokane native Dylan Darling, the Central Valley kid, scores a layup, but it was too little, too late. Wazoo with the turnover right here, and that's not going to get it done. The Cougars had 15 turnovers in this one. Washington State falls 70-59. The Cougars will look to get back in the win column when they take on Eastern Washington at Spokane Arena next Monday. Tip-off for that one is at 6 o'clock. Gonzaga basketball's Drew Timme and Julian Strother were named to the John Wooden Award watch list. They are 2 of 50 players to make the list, which will be trimmed down throughout the season. The Wooden Award recognizes the most outstanding player in college basketball. Gonzaga will take on last year's Wooden Award winner Oscar Tshiebwe and Kentucky at 4:30 on Sunday at Spokane Arena. And this season hasn't gone the way Eastern Washington wanted, but there's still one more chance to end the season on a positive note. The Eagles will hold Senior Day on Saturday against Northern Colorado. The Eagles have won only 2 games all year. It's the reason why some of the seniors say they want to win this one by any means necessary. Not only would a win be huge for the senior class, but would also give the underclassmen some momentum heading into the offseason.
You know, there's a lot of emotion. I mean, obviously my last game, my Eastern career with this group of guys, and it's bittersweet, but All we care about is finding a way to get a win.
We've searched, we've scratched, we've had different lineups, different things, different variables, and once we get ahead in something, we maybe fall back in something else, and just playing. Make the game simple this Saturday. Play as fast as we can, as well as we can, as together as we can, and like we do every week. Strive to be 1-0.
And Eastern Washington starting quarterback Gunnar Talkington right there was in a walking boot during practice. He was still throwing the ball around a little bit, so we'll keep you updated on his status for the game. And kickoff for that one between Eastern Washington and Northern Colorado is scheduled for 1 o'clock Saturday from Roos Field in Cheney. That'll wrap us up for sports.
Julian, thank you. Tomorrow, NASA is set to take a major step for humanity to reach the moon and beyond.
It's a mission that's the first phase of a new era of lunar exploration called Artemis. NASA says they feel good about tomorrow's attempt, but the launch has already been delayed several times. Issues with a faulty temperature sensor and a liquid hydrogen leak scrubbed the first 2 launch attempts, and they forced crews to stow away the rocket and capsule for several weeks. Then, of course, weather in Florida also played a major role. So if tomorrow's attempt is successful, it will be a major milestone for NASA as astronauts hope to collect lunar samples and map the mysterious southern region of the moon where the crewed spacecraft launches will be happening in 2024. We'll be right back after the break.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Next ET. The Grammy nominations are in. We're at the Starfield announcements.
It feels so exciting.
Plus, we're with Daniel Craig, who's his pick for the next James Bond.
So can we get the best? Can we just get the best?
Then our exclusive with longtime supermodel Paulina Porizkova inside her good, bad, and beautiful new memoir.
No filters allowed.
Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
You've been hearing about it, and now we've got it at Post Falls Volkswagen, the ID4 electric SUV. This SUV has a space, warranty, technology that buyers want at a price that's competitive.
Come into Post Falls Volkswagen and reserve your ID4 electric SUV, and we'll fill up your gas tank. It's easy to reserve yours. Come into Post Falls Volkswagen and get started and never feel the pain at the pump again.
The ID4 electric SUV, see it and reserve yours today at Post Falls Volkswagen.
With holidays right around the corner, Ironstone Furniture and Fire is offering discounts on all in-stock dining sets, along with simplicity, indulgence, and endless possibilities. So, when you're looking for dining at its best, visit Ironstone Furniture and Fire in Coeur d'Alene.
Loans? Chimney Rock Mortgage has loans.
We offer purchase and refinance with conventional,
FHA, USDA-RD, VA, down payment assistance,
reverse mortgage, construction.
Chimney Rock Mortgage is truly a team. We like each other, we work hard together, and the end result of that is a better loan process for you.
Contact your local equal housing lender, Chimney Rock Mortgage, for your home loan pre-approval. Chimney Rock Mortgage.
The doctor will see you now. But do they really? Do they see all that you are? At Kaiser Permanente, all of us work together to care for all that is you. Kaiser Permanente.
Are you ready for winter and unexpected power outages? Talk with the experts at Country Homes Power to find the best fireplace to protect your home, even when the power goes out. Like Valor Gas Fireplaces. Visit Country Homes Power today.
4 News Now is brought to you by Move Fitness.
We have some breaking news from Moscow now. Within the last half hour, the Moscow Police Department released a statement responding to criticism for not releasing more information on the murders of the 4 U of I students. In that statement, they said in part, quote, "At this time, we have shared every piece of information that we can without compromising the ongoing investigation." It was a much longer statement. We will have it on KXLY.com. We also just received a statement from one of the victims' family members, a very passionate call for justice, and we will share that coming up on 4 News Now Nightside. And it has been a cold couple of days, Chris.
Yes, and we have several more cold days before a warming trend, if you can call it that, next week.
Yeah, we want to stay with 4 News Now will have everything you need to know coming up at 11.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.